podcast is rated PG-13. Parents strongly cautioned. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13.
Guys, we Barbenheimered. We're a part of culture.
We did.
Hi, Barbie.
Yeah, don't you feel like you're, a part of something bigger than yourselves?
No.
It's
Doesn't
nice.
that feel good?
Yeah, it's like an event. It's nice. It's a communal thing. Yeah, everybody's doing it. It's fun to do something everybody's doing.
That's true for the most part.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
he's
okay.
not wrong. You're right.
It is.
I
What
would
about watching
maybe,
NFL, John? Is that fun? Do you like watching the NFL?
I love watching the
I
NFL.
have enjoyed that, yes.
I love watching
You
it.
took
I
a
go
long turn
every
there, Denny.
weekend. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? I love the
It's
NFL.
great. I used to watch that with my family all the time. It was great.
I like
Yeah.
drinking and eating junk food on Sunday. I mean, so I
What? Right?
Yeah,
and
so-
just sit there and sit there for 3 hours.
Yep.
Like,
No, that's Oppenheimer.
Oh, well, also
Yeah.
NFL. 3.5 hours.
At least
right?
you don't. At least you can get up and move around when you're watching football.
That's true.
I
You're right.
can't
You're
do
more
that for
free. You
Oppenheimer.
are more free with the football, but it is
Yeah.
okay if you just stay there. That's
That
okay
is
too.
that is accepted. But hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Welcome to my Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Casa House. It doesn't matter. It sounds cool. God, he had so many good fucking one-liners.
He
in
did.
this
He
one.
did.
So we're watching.
Yeah.
So spoilers. We're watching the
I
Barbie
don't think
movie.
there's anybody left in the country that hasn't seen this movie.
And it's a comedy, so we're going to spoil all the lines.
So this movie
you
was
wanna
written
go
and
see it,
directed
but
by the 3-time Oscar-nominated Greta Gerwig, and co-written by the 3-time Oscar-nominated Noah Baumbach, who they're married to each other. It stars
I
the
didn't know
2-time
that.
Oscar
nice.
nominee Margot Robbie, 2-time Oscar nominee Ryan Gosling, the costume designer, 2-time Oscar winner Jacqueline Duran, 6-time Oscar nominee production designer Sarah Goodwin, 3-time Oscar nominee cinematographer
It's
And what's
Rodrigo
so
Pietro.
cool about all this is that
Line up the top talent for the
it was
Barbie
it was
movie.
all good, but it's all people they know.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, it's,
But they had it stacked. They were like they had
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
It was rigged from the
I mean, the
beginning.
producer is married to Margot Robbie.
Everything
right?
was
So-
rigged except.
Well,
that
you know
it
what's
was-
the
it
worst
was
part about
Barbie.
this, guys? The worst part about this is that they were 33 years old,
Yeah. Okay.
and they just made the biggest movie probably of all time. 33.
Who's 33?
I read the producer and
Oh,
Margot's
shit.
husband. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they're both 33. Those two.
Nice.
And then the writer is like,
One
she just
time,
made a
I would
ton
have considered
of
that
cash.
old a long time ago.
I
But
mean,
anyway, yes.
they made their careers off this movie, and they're young, and
Yeah.
they got way to go, like ways to go before it's anywhere near over. If they play
And
the
Margot
cards right.
Robbie is a producer as well.
Yes,
So like in
Right.
addition to that, and when she pitched it, she even like joked that this movie was going to make $1 billion. And
And
look
it
at
did.
that.
wow,
It's
How about
going
that?
strong. It's still like the #1 movie in theaters. It's
I've
at
never-
$1.1 billion plus.
It is hard to say. Like, and imagine again all the crazy things that happen in the world, but like just saying, like a year ago, if somebody were to say, "Yeah, that Barbie movie, it's going to be the best thing." I mean, I guess if you looked at all
Never
the names
would have
associated,
expected it.
but
I
if
know.
you'd have done a research, I guess. Before knowing the names associated with it, it's incredible to think that it's such the success it is. It's amazing to think, yeah, you're going to have this, and then you're also going to have all these A-list actors. You're going to have top tier musical talent as well. Like I was sitting there thinking, like, holy shit, that's Tame Impala. Like you and I saw, were you there, TC? We all saw Tame Impala in Boston.
I know.
Back when they
At
were
the
good.
Paradise. At
Back
the
when
Paradise.
they were just at the Paradise, yeah, right when they
At
were
the
making
Paradise.
it big, right? It was
I
It
know
was a great,
when
great
you could
show.
actually still see them.
yeah, great show.
Right.
Imagine, yeah, Tame Impala is going
Oh,
to be featured in
man.
the Barbie movie. Holy cow!
Not
Wow.
even that. They had like all sorts of just big name across
Yeah.
the board. It's one of the
Yeah.
biggest movies I've ever like even just comprehended. I can't even imagine the marketing spend, the budgets that they had, just the outrageous like stuff they had to do to just like be able to make this movie in the first place and actually have everyone on board and like it's like it's just one of those things where you just have the biggest and largest thing in America. Right? Like the biggest and largest thing that's ever happened in America, the Barbie doll.
Well,
and like that it is, right? Like that's the 50s and 60s right there in a nutshell. It's like, think about that stuff. Like that is enormous. Barbie's name goes generations.
That's
It
fair.
spans generations, right? You're using that as the foundation for the story, which already is awesome. Like the story just of Barbie is incredible. And then you throw top talent, great stories, awesome fucking like cultural. They had an even, like sort of ball busted, if you will, of all the different sides. It didn't matter what you are, who you are. You were getting made fun of, and we were going to do it in a way that was so
look bad at all.
Yeah,
which
but it was
which
so
was surprising.
fun. It wasn't. They were making fun of people in a way that was just lighthearted in a sense. It wasn't like
That's
you're
true.
worse than
It
I
did-
am,
it
or
did
I'm
feel
better than you are.
mean-spirited,
It's just
yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
just as crazy and dumb as each other, and now we
Yeah.
all get to have this fun time thinking about Barbie World and watch Will Ferrell as usual just be funny and stupid. And I mean,
Did you
come on.
like Will Ferrell? I don't know.
I thought he
I'm
was
tired of
great.
Will Ferrell. Really?
I thought he
I
was
don't know.
great. I thought he
Really?
was exactly who he always is. But
Exactly. I think that's what
Yeah.
it was like. Oh, there's Will Ferrell being Will Ferrell. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
DC
I
liked it the most of
I
everyone.
liked it.
On paper,
Yeah.
that never would have happened.
I liked
this is
this
backwards
entire
day.
movie. I liked
Wow,
this
good for
entire
you.
movie.
All
Yeah,
right.
I laughed the whole time. I was, sitting with my mom, and she was just bursting out laughing
Wow.
every second. I think it was just cool to watch sort of the older generation with the young generation all having fun at the same movie.
That's fair.
That was my
And,
favorite part. For
a
sure.
good movie to go to with your parents in a
yeah,
way.
and your little kids, and it's still funny. We're gonna beat
Yeah.
each other off.
That's true. I know. It would,
I thought
actually,
that was so fun.
Surprisingly, it would have been a good kids film. I think.
I thought it was
actually,
rated PG, and I was like, "Oh man, they're
Yeah.
really pushing the PG bar here."
Yeah.
Some of these
Yeah,
are a
yeah.
little, and I guess little kids wouldn't understand the
No,
they
PG
wouldn't
off
get
or
it.
anything.
They
So
wouldn't get it. Yeah. What
Yeah.
if they have Beach? I mean, it's just such a good fucking. I mean, he was so good. He was like made to play this role.
Gosling was. I think like
he just
that,
was.
He is the highlight in a way.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I think
the way he
his-
delivers his he has that smug but
Right,
funny and charismatic way about
and
him.
he's
It's-
sympathetic, even though he's
it's
completely
great.
clueless. He's still.
Yeah.
I don't know. He pulls it off and I think a sympathetic way, which is
I
impressive.
thought it was, you feel bad for him, but you
Right.
don't. And then,
Right, right.
it's great. It's so good. I mean, I just loved this movie. I would see
Aw.
it over and over and over again. It was so much better than Oppenheimer. I mean, I just feel bad. Yeah, even having them in the same comparison.
It's
'Cause
just
like
a different.
one of them.
It's a whole different film.
One of
too,
them
though,
got
but-
screwed because if I'm going to remember anything, it's not going to be
But
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer's
It's
done
definitely
quite
gonna be
well
Barbie.
for itself, so
Yeah.
Oppie's happy. I
Well,
think,
it's
so,
just
yeah.
right on the coattails.
That's
Jeez.
true. It got to be the 1-2 punch, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna
but
get a
yeah, I
boost
mean,
when
that's-
Oscar season comes around, though. That's for sure. Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Because it's got a lot of the production value too.
It
But,
does.
this is just such a good movie. It was so easy to watch, so easy to laugh to.
It felt like. Did it feel like a? To me, like Nikki and I both thought this. That it felt like a play. It felt like almost a Broadway show or something like that. It was just so all over the place, not in a bad way, but just spectacle and singing and dancing
and coordinations,
right,
and
right.
one
It just-
one set, not
Right, right.
right.
It really had that sort of feel to it. That it was just It was, and it had the same kind of experience of just this very sort of joyful performance sort of thing, throughout
Yeah.
the film.
I got kind
Yeah.
of like a Wes Anderson type of vibe from it. I think maybe
Yeah, a little bit.
because some of the
Yeah.
shots were they were real, but they were composited and
that,
weird.
that
kind
sort of perfect world looking thing that is
Yeah.
kind of the Barbie idea. You can see that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. That was when they're going, especially after the Barbie look, that it is this sort of very pastel, or in a very strongly colored, brightly colored world that's very highly organized too. So very,
Which
Wes
is why it
Anderson.
was so great that the main characters was creating the opposite Barbie at first, right? And then became back in love with Barbie at the
Yeah.
end, right? She had been so
The Barbie
sort
arc.
of
Barbie
yeah,
went full
her.
circle.
I just loved the fact that because it just tied together the parent generation, the kid generation, the new generation, right? It was just, I thought it was an awesome American feat, if you will, right?
hidden capitalism. It's look
you
at us.
really-
We're just a bunch
yeah.
of men controlling products, but we want you to buy some more fucking
Some more
dolls because we're
products.
making new
right,
dolls.
because now
Fuck
they're
it.
friendly. You know, everyone can get on board. But I would imagine though that I don't know, I can't believe it's doing so well because I didn't realize how big Barbie was outside of America. But apparently, it's just as large as it is here. Because
Sometimes American films with really attractive people and bright colors do really well
Sure.
in other countries.
That's fine.
That's
This
a
will
good-
do well here,
that's a good
and
point.
this is still.
Yeah.
It's not there's some interesting parts to it, but it's not heavy, So it's going to play well anywhere,
Right.
In terms of this is a go and it's happy fun time,
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
nice. So you can see it just has general mass appeal, or less, except for some conservative wackos, but whatever.
I can't imagine. I remember thinking you guys were you may not like it, and I got through it, and I was like, why would I not like it? If you don't like this movie, there is something wrong with you all across the board.
So
Because at
sometimes
face value, it's
there's a
about
price
dolls.
to pay to being a Nazi. Some things you just.
I mean, dude, come on. The woman from Saturday Night Live was so funny.
Oh yeah.
I mean, she was fantastic.
I think it's confusing for me because I really enjoyed this movie, but I think the thing I enjoyed most about it was the audience reaction to everything
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, that's
mostly
true.
enjoying how hard everybody else was laughing throughout the
Yeah.
movie. there were parts where people,
Yeah.
I could hear them lose their minds. You know when you hear people laugh so hard they can't control
that's
themselves?
awesome.
That happened multiple times, and it
that's
made
great.
everybody else in the theater laugh really hard. It was
cool.
like a
it
collective.
totally does help.
Yeah. The scene,
Yeah.
I don't
That
think I would
is
have
really-
found it funny myself. There was a scene where they were doing a dance number and it was a surprise one, and it was towards the end, and it was like Ken and his little rival, and there was a scene where they're like, they point each other's chests at each other, and a bunch of sparkles start happening in between it.
Yeah.
People lost their shit in the theater when that happened.
Nice.
I mean, it was funny. those two Kens were the best. They were so funny.
But I just don't think I would have laughed myself as that hard, but it was like a collective thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome to have that experience. So that's like the great, going to a theater experience. That's wonderful. We don't get that very often. It seems like first of all, you don't get a packed fit theater.
You
hardly
raise
ever.
a point though, Denny. Like if you watch it alone, does it hit different? Because you
No,
figure
it would.
like the
Comedies do
whole story
usually.
the whole
Yeah,
story
yeah.
is about a collective, right? Liking a doll. So like it makes sense that a collective in the theater would laugh and find it more funny. But anyways, I thought, I mean, I was dying.
Yeah,
I couldn't stop
Nicky
laughing.
and I both thought we wouldn't have liked it nearly as much if we saw, and we didn't see it in a packed raucous theater. We saw it in a very sparsely populated theater
Ours
on like a
ours
Thursday
was pretty
night.
good.
Yeah, ours is totally packed 2 weeks out on a
yeah.
Monday night. Just
That's
completely
nice.
packed. People were
Awesome.
dressed
Yeah.
up and like,
We had to get tickets. We had to get tickets multiple days in advance to get
That's
a
really
good
cool.
seat.
we did too.
Yeah, like a week or so.
John, you got to
That's
live in a
almost-
bigger city, man. You got to
Once
live in a bigger one.
Hey, oftentimes that's awesome. I can go whenever I want. It's not crowded.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
bothers
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
But yeah, sometimes it's missing out on something like that.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, anyway, I thought everything about it was awesome. I don't have anything bad.
You got
really
no
to say
gripes.
about it.
You didn't
Nah,
think
no
that?
gripes.
So I think I don't have a problem with this, but I thought it was kind of confusing some of the messaging they were giving. It certainly has like messages. Some of them seem to contradict with each other. But I don't.
That's
think,
on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
That's to make
what
it
it sounds
even.
like. Your
Yeah.
excuses, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just thought they kind of contradicted each other. I didn't care.
No, but that's the whole point. They're trying to give an understanding for everybody that, hey, guess what? It's all so ridiculous, guys. We don't have to be as serious about it. And we can still love each other for it because sometimes all we want to do is play with a doll. You know?
But I thought there was a pretty strong message about patriarchy and men ruling
Yeah.
the world and that being a bad thing.
Of course. But then the whole point was like, well, the women obviously somewhat like it too because they go right for it. It's not like they're just sitting there and like when someone says I'm going to give you patriarchy, there's women out there that are like, yeah, that's great. No, let's do it. What do you need? I'll
Or
order
they're
it.
like somehow brainwashed
Right?
into it or something.
Yeah, and they're
is the other
brainwashed.
idea.
That's fine, but they decide to
Yeah.
like it, right?
Yeah.
And then there are people
Right.
on that side. So I thought they were just trying to like even it out, so
Maybe.
it wasn't so
yeah. But it did feel
one way or the other.
Maybe it felt to me a little. It certainly didn't feel cohesive, and there are certain things like the America Ferrera and her daughter that just sort of like was there, and then it just magically resolved. I mean, it was like messy, and it didn't matter though.
But it
because
was
they were
funny
just-
the whole way through.
It was
Yeah,
still
it
funny
was.
the whole way, right?
It
So it
was.
doesn't matter. Like it just seemed to go after these things, and it didn't matter because it's not important that there's this real resolution to the mother-daughter relationship or whatever. If it makes no sense that they're good now, okay, it doesn't matter because
It doesn't. And like
Yeah.
patriarchy is one thing, but like the dad and the husband is just at home trying to fucking learn Duolingo. Right, like
Right,
he's
right.
just
I
trying
know,
to learn
I know.
language.
They're not-
Like it's
they're
like,
not- no,
like,
again-
there's also a
I like what
statement
you said,
there of
TC.
like,
well, there's
it's
not
just all
there's what you said earlier to something to the effect of how it's just not mean spirited. You know,
Right.
It's not. There's no anger or everybody's still like presented in sort of like it's not like they're evil or bad. They're just trying to do what they can, sort of, and it's not. I don't know. It's just very gently done in that sense. It doesn't feel like anybody is being vilified. Even the
Right.
silly businessmen aren't even seemingly vilified, right? Even though they're like the all white male board, they're not presented in a way that is designed to make us hate them.
no,
We
they're
can
just
laugh at
dumb
them.
white guys,
Right,
And
but
dumb,
we're not like
business
being
guys.
set up to hate them. We're set up to laugh at them, but we're laughing at everybody. So
That's right. That's
right.
exactly right.
But
That's
yeah,
exactly
I mean, again, it's one of the most spectacular beach battle scenes ever. I loved
Oh
it.
my
I
God,
loved
I
that.
know,
That was
I know.
so cool. The
I
battle
know,
scene was
I
my
know.
favorite. Just the suction cup arrows. And all of it was just
I know,
so
it's
cool.
just so funny.
And
I know.
again, everybody playing it to the hilt. Everybody, again, really great actors. Will Ferrell aside, whatever. But
I like Will Ferrell.
I don't know what it
Will
is.
Ferrell
I
was
don't know
great.
why.
I thought he was perfect. He played that character just like he was supposed to.
I don't know. That was the least interesting. Well, at least
I mean, the idea of Will Ferrell being the head of Mattel is hilarious. I don't know. I think that's
he
fun.
already pulled that off in the Lego movie, being like the stern.
Oh, I didn't see the Lego movie.
Oh,
so.
you should see that.
There you go.
But anyway,
Lego wasn't the same as Barbie, unfortunately.
What might happen is it just pales in comparison to the leads. I mean, and it, in terms of how they're like shining, sort of. So I think that might have been it too. Sort of like that's less interesting than watching Ken or Barbie, or any of those scenes. So yeah. Anyway, it was spectacular. It was really fun. Like I said, it really felt like going to see a theater, a play, something like that. Like
I also really like the idea of like. Just like the wonderment that they had when they're like, what would happen if it's like a bizarro world, right? Like the Barbie world is a world. Imagine if it did exist. How ridiculous that would be. Like that's the whole premise for the movie, really. And it's like something that everybody's thought about if you've ever seen a Barbie in your life, right? Like what if they did have like in your head as a kid, it's imagination, right? Like all that stuff is built into a lot of our childhoods. I think that's just a cool idea in the first place, and to be able to even do it and get the rights to do it and have Mattel on board to do it and
let them release it in its current
do
state.
There. Yeah, right. There's
really kind of trashing
do.
on Mattel. Like that was very surprising. You'd think that they kind of would come around towards the end to say something positive about Mattel, but they didn't really. They only kind of shat on them throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, if you're a marketing person, that's good.
They were nice about Barbie's creator. They gave this glowing sort of like sense of who she looked amazing. Actually, Danny DeVito's wife, Rhea Perlman, she looked amazing. I thought. I mean, she looked younger than she did in Cheers, which is crazy. But maybe special.
They always make her hair up to make her look ugly in everything that she's done.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah. But you're right. They really like. Mattel, who again was happy to be like shat upon, sort of.
It's good marketing.
Yeah, it is. It's right. Yeah. I mean, again, it was. This is. They couldn't ask for better marketing at this point. Like Barbie's like resurrected for a whole new generation in a sense, and it's very different than it was. So yeah, I don't know.
And now they're gonna make a Bratz movie and shit. There's going to be a whole new slew of live action doll
Here we
movies.
go. Right.
Yeah.
Well, there already was like a Bratz movie, wasn't there?
I don't think it was live action. They're doing live action shit now.
Oh, God, help us all.
They're trying to just ride it out.
Cram the star power into a movie.
They did Battleship.
Yeah.
They had a Battleship movie of all things, which is ridiculous.
Battleship movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mega 2 movie.
The Mega 2 looks good. That trailer looks kind of good.
Yeah. When he's on the fucking wave and he's got the harpoon and he's just about to launch it. I mean, it looks so bad. It looks great.
But again, it was a great film to see. It was fun to go see it. I'm glad we did. I mean, it's not necessarily something we're going to sit here and pick apart or anything.
No, it was a good day. I started out with like a big ass ice cream, right? You get to the fucking theater. I'm like, I'm getting ice cream. So I got a big ass waffle cone ice cream. I felt like a little kid. You're going in, you're fucking watching Barbie. You're thinking about all your past. It's awesome. Get made fun of. They're not wrong. I think maybe the thing that didn't bother me about the, propaganda, if you will, was that a lot of it was right.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I think if we all laugh at it, it just diminishes a lot of it too, so that we're not all sort of just at each other's throats about it all the time.
The film's making these different points, but it's just coming fast and hitting. I think, and Nikki did really like, where they're trying to like unbrainwash them from the patriarchy, and they're saying all these double standards that the women have to be held to. And I mean, she thought that was powerful though, too. Like that it is this sense of how, you got to be strong and assertive, but he can't be a bitch. Yeah. It's like you're like screwed either way, in terms of what you got to do.
Both sides are at this point.
Well, yeah, fair. Yeah, right. I mean, that's what the movie's like pointing to necessarily, right? Yeah. It's not necessarily like, girls are good, guys are bad. This is like just saying, here's what they're going through, sort of, right? Ken is different because Ken was made for Barbie, and he's screwed because of all of that. Like he's got a big problem because like that's what he was made for, so he's in trouble.
Tell you the truth, when I found out the president wasn't a horse, I kind of lost interest.
It was one of my laugh out loud moments, which wasn't called out, but like he's wearing the shirt that says "I'm Knuff."
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like,
the ending there,
cool.
I'm Knuff. That was great.
Knuff.
That was so clever. I agree.
Yeah, I love it.
They're gonna sell those shirts for sure. Makes so much money.
If someone didn't make them already, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it was a brilliant move there to say I'm Knuff.
Yeah,
but yeah.
So what do you got, Denny?
I mean, I really liked it. I think the best thing I could say is the crowd liked it, and that was really enjoyable.
Yeah. It's part of being part of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, it looked really cool. The colors were insane, and the special effects were crazy. Their doll acting stuff was really weird and good. Like the standing on the toes, it didn't look digital. I don't know how they did that. It was probably just practical, but it looked very good. When she was like flailing around on the ground, Margot Robbie, they acted like dolls sometimes. And their facial expressions were like dolls. It was
very stiff.
And I think it was all just acting, which was like really good because they weren't just like humans pretending to be dolls. They seemed like they were dolls, kind of. When they were doing stuff. The clothing helped a lot. I think like their colors helped a lot too, because like even in the real world, they stood out in their colors against the background.
There was like
and
a
stuff.
contrast of neon versus regular colors. Yeah, always.
Yeah, and I had thoughts going through it. Like this movie, like normally a movie that's kind of saying, hey, capitalism's bad, marketing is bad, giving little girls like a bad idea for themselves is bad. And then the company that's doing all of that is making money from the thing that's saying that would just like irritate me. But for some reason,
also promoting their product like shit. Like this is a huge boost for them.
Yeah, it seems a little hypocritical, but at the same time, it's confusing because it's like, it's Greta Gerwig, written and directed. A lot of women in this movie. It's very women positive in a lot of ways, in a different way. So it's like the movie is confused. I'm confused about how Mattel is making a shit ton of money from this movie.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot of movies out there that have that problem that
but this
we're
points
supposed
at
to just say it's a
points
movie.
at it. Right?
Yeah, right.
And you're supposed to be okay with it.
This doesn't seem to hide it. It doesn't seem to sugarcoat it in a way, which is really funny.
Well, you can't in this instance, right? There's no way. Like you can't have a secret agenda on
that's the
Barbie.
idea. But that's the really cool thing it does to address this head on, because you have this doll that's unrealistic, but also was very popular. And then sort of how that got adapted and how they even make fun of how they tried to adapt it, is even funny as well. So it's I don't know. It just feels like it's just like approaching it head on. So it's like, yeah, this is what it is.
I mean, they even threw the white savior Barbie in there.
Right,
I thought that was fucking clever as hell. I died.
Right? It
the
was
whole
great.
theater went, oh, like that. It was so good. And it was like the way the line was delivered, it was such it didn't, like, it was just person thinking, right? Like she was just being like, white savior Barbie, not thinking about it. And then like the just like what that means is so much deeper than the moment they were in,
Yep.
And so it just worked. I thought it was, they had so many of those little jokes that just seemed to work because it's the medium. We're seeing this crazy Barbie world and they're speaking this propaganda that is, I enjoyed it.
I appreciate it. It was straight. It was really
I liked all that
straightforward.
stuff.
It is a good point. It's a really good point, Denny, that this could easily could have struck the wrong tone in any number of ways. Like in terms of like, because of what Barbie is, because it seems insane to want to make a Barbie movie from right then, and it seems.
And I mean, it's not like this is a new thing. They have cartoons of Barbie that people have been consuming for the past like 40 years or whatever. So
right,
it's like,
but to make a mainstream Barbie movie, to have it be very female focused and women empowering focused seems ridiculous. First hearing that there was going to be a big Barbie movie, it's like, oh God, that's gonna suck. Like, that's just gonna stink.
Nobody thought it was gonna be good, right?
I remember thinking, why is Ryan Gosling ruining his career?
Then Ryan's attached to it. Ryan Gosling is like, oh
they
God,
made the
what is
most
it?
money they'll ever make in their lives.
Is he already at that phase in his career where he's just going to take whatever roles because?
I remember the day on Reddit, because Reddit posts like movie stills from the set and stuff, and they posted the first production images from this movie, and it was Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie in those green and yellow suits with rollerblades on, and I was like, this might be good. This looks insane.
So that was the exact same moment there. I was like, this is going to be bad.
But you had a strong feeling. The reaction was strong.
Strong.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right, guys. I have Barbie trivia for you.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
I've got 5 questions. Barbie trivia showdown. TC versus Denny.
Is this about the movie or is this about like Barbie doll history?
It's about Barbie itself.
Okay.
Oh fuck, we're both gonna fail.
One of the questions is gonna be, what's your real name? Is that gonna be the question?
No. One of you is gonna lose.
Yeah.
So you just gotta.
I'm not gonna win.
We're
both gonna lose, TC. I'm going 0 out of 5.
One of you is
I feel like I've already lost this.
It's multiple choice.
Okay.
Oh,
It's multiple choice.
Okay.
So one of you might get shit lucky.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
All right. Let's start with this one. Number 1, year launched. A, 1946, B, 1959, C, 1961, or D, 1963?
I know this one because I was reading the Wikipedia page earlier.
All right. Well, you get bonus points for studying. Good boy.
63.
59.
That's right. B.
Ah, close.
Danny
Very
gets
close.
1 point.
Very
That's not a
close.
point.
1 point.
That's not a point.
Wait, if you read the
That's a
Wikipedia, then we're probably screwed here because this is all from the Wikipedia.
Okay.
Right. So
See how much I
2,
retained.
Let's see. 2, modeled after A, Ruth's teenage daughter.
What?
B, a
Wait,
French-
say that again?
Wait. So
Ruth's
the
teenage
Barbie
daughter.
doll was modeled after
Yeah.
A, Ruth's teenage daughter, the creator Ruth.
Okay.
B, a French stewardess doll that was sold to teenagers. C, a German sexy doll sold as an adult novelty. Or D, a Swedish nurse doll sold to kids.
D.
Didn't they talk about this in the movie? Was it not A?
I don't know.
Because like they
Wrong.
had
Nope.
Ruth in the movie, right? She was the
Okay,
What was
so
it?
both of you are wrong. It is a German sexy doll that was sold as adult novelty.
German sexy doll.
There was a
Interesting.
comic strip in Germany where the character was this very sexy woman who
What's
was
the name of it? Can I look this up?
Like gold digger. You can see it on the Wikipedia page. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, you can see it there. And so she saw this doll while they were traveling, and she's like, "That's what we need," because she had pitched to her husband, who was the co-founder of Mattel at the time. We need a doll that's not a baby doll for girls, and they kind of poo-pooed it. But then she saw this other doll, and the girls, it was initially kind of sold as an adult novelty, but it had different outfits, and little girls loved to play with it, even in Germany. And so they brought it over, and she was modeled after this very sexy sort of adult figure doll. And that's sort of what Barbie was initially modeled after.
nice.
All right, so
Interesting.
3, in 1971, what adjustment was made to Barbie? A, her eyes were made to look forward. B, breast reduction. C, feet that allowed other shoes besides high heels. Or D, less pronounced backside, we'll say.
The B. I'm gonna go B as well.
Both of you are breast
went-
reduction?
I went D.
We went D, less pronounced backside.
Yeah.
Okay, the answer is A. The
Oh,
original
great.
Barbie
We're just
had
both
a
wrong.
sideways
Cool.
look, kind of a coy to the side look, kind of like looking sort of like shy.
Oh.
So in 71, her eyes were made to look forward instead of looking to the side.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. 4, Ruth Handler and her husband, who was the co-founder of Mattel, were fired from Mattel for A, inappropriate employee relations, B, tax evasion, C, false financial reports, or D, drug use.
Shit, those are all bad.
Yeah, let's go over those again one more time.
One more time.
A,
Tax evasion.
inappropriate employee relations, B, tax evasion, C, false financial reports, or D, drug use.
I feel like B
A.
wouldn't get you fired, right? But C
A.
might. I'm going C.
Like tax evasion is normal. Everyone does
well, I
it?
mean, it's
What?
personal, right? It's not like
Yeah,
a
I
Wow.
guess oh,
That's true. I guess the first one would make sense because back then they could do that shit. No one cared.
yeah, maybe.
C.
So,
I'm going C.
I'm
Paperwork,
going A.
something or other, right?
C was false financial reports.
Yeah, I'll do
Is
that
that it?
one.
What are you saying, Cece?
I said A.
Oh, A. So no, it is. Denny's right. That was some good
Okay,
reasoning
there
there.
you go.
They her and her husband, basically, they had to settle out of court. They had to pay fines. They were followed up. They were fudging the financials.
Oh.
Good reason to fire
I mean,
someone.
again, the American way. I
Yes.
mean, really. Look
Yeah.
at Trump.
Um,
You know,
oh God, help us all.
catching up to him
5.
30 years later.
Oh, maybe. So we'll see. Hopefully. 5. Ruth Handler also co-invented A, new breast prosthetic, B, jeans for girls, C, bikes for girls, or D, the pogo stick.
I'm going pogo stick.
That's a good one. What would you say?
Bikes, I guess, is more of a product.
Okay. She actually had breast cancer, had a mastectomy, and she actually co-invented a new breast prosthetic that actually
Oh,
became quite
good.
popular.
Oh,
Pogo stick.
So I think Denny wins just by
Yeah.
1 or 2 points, though, not by much.
That's all right.
yeah.
I'm kind of glad I don't know the answers to this. To be honest.
But now you do.
You
Yeah,
know,
I
you're
don't know if I
fucked.
listened.
Yeah,
I didn't
good.
really
That's
listen. I
probably
just
good,
kind
too.
of picked. I just know I had to pick from A to D. That's about it.
There we go. Try to extend the episode a little, Denny.
I got some trivia.
Oh, you do? What do you
Okay.
got?
A little bit. So in Barbie World, that was pretty much all real. The background was painted, like set extensions, and all of the Barbie houses were all real, and they were scaled at they were 23%.
I mean, it makes sense because they don't have
Wow.
to be like, they're not real things in a sense. They just need to be like sort of like cutouts, sort of.
Yeah. So everything was 23% smaller than like it was supposed to be for a regular house to kind of give the proportions of Barbie's dream house was a little bit smaller than it would be.
Right,
if
the
she was a
actual
normal
dolls,
human.
yeah.
Yeah. This movie's been in development since 2009. It's been through 3 studios. It started at Universal, got passed on to Sony.
Wait, all the while with Margot Robbie?
Nope.
No,
So it went
okay.
Universal to Sony to Warner Brothers. Universal didn't even get an actor lined up for Barbie. Sony had Amy Schumer in their sights for a bit, and then she dropped out for another project. This is about 2016, 17 when this happened.
Yeah.
And then when she dropped out, they got Anne Hathaway.
Yeah,
signed
so
up.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, so interesting.
That didn't end up working out, and then Sony sold the rights to Warner Brothers, where they shopped around to a few different writers. And while it was at Sony, they had a bunch of different writers. I mean, there was like producers and writers all over this
So I
project.
can
since
imagine
2009.
during all these iterations, it was probably something entirely different. Like,
Yes.
like it might have been
Probably,
a
yeah.
true to form Barbie movie at first. Not something so like insightful about the whole thing, but more like this is Barbie,
This
like actual Barbie.
story and characters and everything in this movie was entirely Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, because they're married and they were in the pandemic together, and they worked on this for the entire pandemic.
Oh wow!
And if you,
Nice.
John, you read the Wikipedia page, it talks about how her experience with Barbie as a kid influenced this, her experience in life, basically all of her experiences, and Noah Baumbach's experiences were like filtered into all the different portions of this movie. So it's very much their movie, I think, those two.
Yeah.
They shot it over the course of 4 months. I don't know if that's a 4-month shoot, if it's continuous or not, but they shot for 4 months. So
Might have
maybe a
been
long
hard,
shoot.
given these actors. I mean, they're probably all doing all kinds of different things, I'd imagine. But
Yeah. Who knows? Right after the pandemic, maybe
Yeah.
not.
I mean, it's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they typically go in.
I mean, Margot Robbie's been busy. I haven't
Chunks.
seen like
That's
Gosling
true.
in a lot of stuff lately, but man, she seems to have been in one thing after another.
So this movie had a budget of $125 to $145 million, which is a decent amount of money.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's almost at
Well,
1.2
I mean,
billion right now.
It's a
Box
lot
office.
it's a lot, but given the stars, man, I wonder if they took pay cuts. I don't know.
No
I mean,
word on
it
that, which
seems
usually
like-
means no.
Probably
I
not.
doubt
You're right.
it.
They'd like to brag about that if so,
Yeah.
I guess. But
This is the kind of movie that it's got Mattel money,
Right.
so you're going to ask for the full paycheck on this one.
I guess so.
probably.
You're right.
Yeah,
but
right.
It seems like, I mean, yeah, given the stars though, the amount of money paid to the actors must have been pretty big old
The
chunk of
number, like looking at the cast list for this movie was
that. Right,
insane.
right,
Just the number of Barbies alone, there's like 30 of them or something.
right.
Greta Gerwig had a sleepover with all the women Barbie people before the production, so they could all get to be friends and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
It's pretty odd. These are adults, Greta. Very strange.
It's a Hollywood sleepover, so I'm sure it was pretty fancy, and everybody was very comfortable.
Yeah,
No one slept on the floor.
Lots of drugs,
Maybe, yeah.
probably. And this last piece of trivia, it might not be true, but I heard it. It was like a story before this movie even came out, or had the reputation that it was going to be good. When they were shooting it in, is it Venice Beach, TC? I think that's where it is, right?
Yep.
So they were
Yep.
shooting there, and John Cena lives around there, and he like works out on Venice Beach, and he, went during the breaks, like in lunch, I guess, went over to the production, and they let him in every time, and he hung out there, and he basically begged the entire time he was there to be in the movie.
Oh
So
my
then
god.
Oh,
they
nice.
shoved him in as the merman, whatever,
Yeah.
that's so
in those
funny.
couple scenes.
That's
really
a
cool.
great story.
Yeah. So
That's true. That's great.
They got-
That's funny.
They got reports of Margot making $50 million off this.
and she's a producer, so she gets a cut of the 50 million. That's insane.
50 million.
So she gets a third, if not more, of the budget went to Margot.
So between her salary and box office bonuses, she got 50 million.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So those box office bonuses might be huge at this point.
Yeah, I imagine they're
oh,
yeah,
you better
ridiculous,
believe
right?
it, baby.
Yeah,
That's how they make their money.
yeah.
God,
Wow.
she's set. She's gonna
Oh,
rock
they're
into
all
the
set.
top like
Oh.
woman actor.
Yeah. Well,
maker
and
out of anyone.
also
Not
because
to mention the
she-
director. She's the most, fucking richest director ever made.
Yeah, this is her first film.
It's unbelievable.
What?
So yeah.
No.
Greta Gerwig?
Isn't it? No,
No.
isn't this her first? I thought this
No.
was her first film as a director.
No, she directed Lady
Writer,
Bird.
maybe. Maybe as a writer.
No,
Oh,
she
as a
directed
director.
Lady Bird and she directed Little Women.
Oh, did
shit.
she write that too?
what the
She
hell
wrote
then?
those too. Yeah, she's a writer
Oh,
director.
wow. There you go. This is not
She
her
got
first.
a a nomination, Oscar nomination for Best Director and Best Writer for Lady Bird.
Yeah, I guess so. Why was I
Wow.
thinking it was like maybe they're just saying like these are the first in terms of the amount of money made by a woman director. I think that was more what I was hearing.
I was saying she's the first solo woman director to make over $1 billion and is the number one.
Wow.
So I don't know. So I'm wondering, like, is there a pair of women or a woman and a man that made a movie
maybe.
that's made higher than this.
Like, yeah.
I don't know what that would be because this is already like in the top 40 highest grossing movies of all time.
I mean, how about Lady Bird? Budget 10 million, made 80 million. Jesus.
That's a
I
good
never saw it.
movie.
Was Lady Bird good?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great.
No, I didn't see it either.
What?
Now I gotta go see
You
it.
guys got to see it. It's awesome
Okay.
and very rewatchable too.
Well,
Nice.
maybe we need to go on a Greta Gerwig binge.
We could. I didn't like Little Women. Don't call me
well.
sexist.
I will.
Okay.
You can call me sexist.
Well, there's not
Yeah.
much else. She did that.
What are you
And
gonna
she did nights and weekends, and that was it.
Timothy Chalamet and Little Women was the worst part of that. Am I not sexist anymore? I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Uh,
Cancels it out. Maybe.
Yeah.
Barbie is the 25th highest grossing movie ever.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
insane.
I mean,
and,
they
it's,
got.
and it's making money every day. Like it's still
I mean,
making
they're
money.
just. Yeah.
It's between Minions and Iron Man 3.
I mean, you know what it is Margot is
That's
just
sad.
Margot
That's
set
really
herself
sad.
up. They set themselves up to get through the writer's strike without worrying about it, right?
Oh,
Look, I mean, I'm just hoping to make $150,000 to $200,000 again in my life. You know, like in a regular basis. That's all I'm hoping for. You know, and these guys are making
I
50
know.
million. Holy shit!
And you know she's got at least 3 more movies, no matter how bad she is in it, which she probably won't be, to also
That are
make
gonna
like
crush.
$20 to $30 million a piece.
Yeah,
for her.
right.
Yeah.
She can't lose
Yeah.
at this point. Neither can her husband.
Note to the casting director: do not, if you were trying to make this point, do not cast Margot Robbie. That was
Yeah,
really
right.
funny too.
That was funny.
I mean, she really is the perfect spitting image of Barbie.
That's all I got for trivia.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean, great movie. Go see it. Everybody should. It's a funny one. If you
deserves
don't
the
like
money.
it, fuck you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very many happy feelings walking out of the theater. It was
That's
good
right.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Would you put it in the top
Talking about it for
250?
days.
Wait. So
Yes.
first, which is better? TC already said Oppenheimer or Barbie. Which one of the Oppen Barbies?
I had a lot more fun with Barbie.
Yeah.
I was happier to go to Barbie.
hands down.
yeah.
Well, even you too, Denny?
I mean, they're 2 totally different movies.
Yeah,
They gave
but
me 2
like
totally
one,
different feelings.
like that's all part of it, right? Like you know,
I don't think
like-
Oppenheimer is going to age well at all. I think it's just going to be a flash in the pan again. Other than it was a Nolan film, I don't think it's really going to have much staying power. Even I don't know. I've already forgotten about it more or less.
Yeah,
Other
me
than-
too.
I
the
haven't.
thing it has, the one thing it has going for it is his historical content, but that's not necessarily something it created. But yeah,
I liked it. It's going to get all the acting. I think it's going to sweep the Oscars
is
this
it?
year.
Well, maybe. Well, it's the year's. Well, yeah, it's almost over.
Not that that matters, but
Maybe
that
so.
I mean, it does matter
Yeah.
for staying power for movies. If it's
It can.
if it wins a bunch,
Yeah, I
then
guess
it's
so.
talked about years later.
It can be, but I didn't. Yeah.
I can see that happening. But
Yeah,
I mean,
it's possible.
I can certainly say I enjoyed the experience of watching this one. It was way more fun.
Yeah.
How about that?
Right.
Not
Yeah.
enjoyable, but
Yeah.
it was way more fun. Easily can say that.
I would say more enjoyable.
So then top 250.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, is it in the top? I don't think it is in the top 250. Is it?
It's
no,
gotta be.
it's like
Has to be.
7-9, isn't
Who's-
it?
who's
It's
giving this a
it's not up
6?
that.
I guess so. This movie is controversial in some
Again,
countries.
there's
that-
that-
the rest of maybe
there's,
the
you know,
rest of the
again.
country. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
I forgot.
there's some downsides to being a fascist. You just don't get to enjoy some things.
Right. You have to hate them, but just based
Yeah.
on like who you
So
are. Yeah,
it's not all happy times hating.
Yeah, like
people.
when you bake in fascism to your whole persona, you've got to go for it. You can't like this movie.
There's
That's
some
true.
downers to it. You gotta be against anything woke. So that like means
That's
you don't
right.
get to have a lot of fun.
That means the whole state of Florida shouldn't have seen the movie.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
I'm sure they did.
7.4 is what we got on the IMDb rating scale.
That's still pretty
I'm
good.
sure it'd be interesting to see the distribution of that. Like, what's the median?
10s and 1s, I'm sure.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, they show you that here. It is kind of a lot of like ones through 5s, quite a lot down on the lower scale. A bunch of ones. Yeah.
Where do you see the spread?
If you
Get
go
a
to
click on
IMDb ratings, you actually do see a spread there on user ratings.
Oh.
Well, what do those people know?
Yeah, fuck them. They paid the money to
You
see
know?
it. They're idiots.
Oh, yeah, right. They went. They got paid. Fuck them.
They went and had a bad time. They're dumb.
Oh, it's great.
Their fault.
I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
Happy for them.
All right, we're going back to the list
All
next
right.
week, guys.
What are we watching next week?
1960.
Oh, God.
Alfred
What?
Hitchcock.
Okay.
What?
His highest rated movie on the list.
1960? I have not even heard of this. God,
No, it's-
19
it's-
oh,
No,
Psycho.
that's the year.
God damn it.
That's the
I'm like,
year.
Alfred
It's late
Hitchcock's
for
for
John.
1960. It was a very good year.
about 1960.
It was a good year. A lot happened then.
This is the highest rated Hitchcock movie on the list.
Psycho, right?
Psycho.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Psycho.
good. I can watch that one.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to like this one.
You gonna like it?
Yeah. Like
Stop
my
touching
movie,
me.
Denny.
Stop
Let's go take a shower.
Did you use
You
the
see the
restroom
Barbie
today?
movie. It's time to stop
Go
touching.
and take a shower, Denny. Come on. You leave the curtain open.
I'm gonna bring some gum for Hitchcock for the next podcast episode. It stinks.
All right, boys.
All right.
Oh, boy.
Later, guys.
All right, this
Next
will be
week.
fun.
Stop 'em.